Hey, good afternoon, Richard, Dan. This is Daniel, just leaving you a quick video message so I can incorporate information quickly into my notebook. And I wanted to kind of give this as a demonstration because, as I shared with you on the phone, Richard, I think OneNote is an excellent tool when you're kind of laying out preliminary organization collaboration concepts. And so, some pretty incredible products have been developed just using OneNote as a tool. So it's pretty interesting. I thought I'd give you all this notebook and give us an area where we can share some information and collaborate somewhat to determine what next steps might be in your thoughts as to whether you proceed with an Office 365 implementation or not. Um, what I learned from you, Dan, was that you're currently rapidly growing, and of course, I know that Richard, you're there to help that process along. And it sounds like you all have done quite a bit with automation for a small company. You kept it rather lean and efficient. And the question bearing down on Office 365 is probably multifaceted in terms of future growth. Why Microsoft was a question you asked on the telephone. And, there's a lot of concepts, I guess, that are technical, but even if you look at it from a pure industry perspective, your primary system of records, I'm using like iRepo, MBSI, Repo Ninjas, things of this nature. For example, that organization is a Microsoft shop, and so even from a support standpoint, they seem to bear down and stay static with supporting Microsoft browser technology and managing releases and software product development as a Microsoft operation. So I think one advantage for certain would be that the tools that you use primarily to run your operation, assignment management and such, it's very highly likely that their infrastructure is already a Microsoft shop. They're doing all their development with Visual Studio suites. They're running Office 365. They're collaborating at a level as a business, but at the same time, they're using processes and toolkits to maintain compliance within the industry at every point within the business. So I think what's unique here is just to keep in mind that uh, you know Google, Amazon, other cloud provider services do fantastic things. I think there's quite a difference in looking at going to the cloud or to Office 365. And I would tell you, after doing technology for 28 years, um, I believe Microsoft is going to still be the primary party in the majority in terms of desktop applications, collaboration tools, etc. When it comes to business, they have security capabilities. Their email hosted capabilities tied to Azure, tied to a really well laid out future plan of providing these technologies as a service. So going into Office 365, there's quite a few things to consider, but that was something I wanted to circle back and share with you, Dan. As far as Auto Recovery Company, um, in terms of that valuation prior to a migration, I would tell you that you can make this decision as a business pretty simply by looking at what it costs you currently to maintain your current infrastructure, looking at what your current infrastructure offers, mail services, securities, ability to plug in and have other tools of collaboration. And I think what it comes down to with Office 365 is there's a large support network and there's a common thread in hiring new employees, etc., where most people will have some sort of Microsoft desktop experience. And the transition to 365 is different for those who even use 2010 and whatnot. So it's important to understand that the whole environment changes thinking, changes the way people problem solve, and I think it has tremendous amounts of potential in markets like the financial industry, and in it, and I think mainly because of the ability to light up a geographically separated environment and have all the security I's and T's crossed and kind of be in good shape from the start. So that's about a wrap up on what I wanted to cover with regard to my summary with Dan to begin looking at what you want out of Office 365 or what your investigation is regarding. More specifically, I wanted to provide you this notebook and encourage you to utilize this notebook to take documented notes or ask me questions or read information where I'm responding and giving you information back. So this is just a quick intro of how to set up a quick collaboration tool and to continue the spirit of collaboration while coordinating our questions and getting answers with respect to these applications and technologies going forward if you were to select or look into migrating to Office 365 and bringing it on board at CARS. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.